I'm grateful that Sanofi engaged me to be a spokesperson for the One Pledge movement. I'm working with them because bringing awareness to type 1 diabetes screening is so important, and people should take action today to screen. Our son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 5 years old after I thought he just had a virus. He was drinking a lot more water than usual and also urinating more than he normally would. The morning of his diagnosis, he came down the stairs and told me something was wrong inside his body, and then he slept all day long. That evening, when we told him to go up to brush his teeth and get ready for bed, he collapsed at the bottom of the stairs and asked his daddy to carry him. We knew something was wrong and rushed him to the closest hospital. Fortunately, I had a friend who educated me about type 1 diabetes not long before our son's diagnosis. When we got to the hospital, I pushed my husband to ask the hospital to test our son for type 1 diabetes. Once they administered the blood test, we learned his A1C was over 12 and blood sugar levels were over 500. He was officially in diabetic ketoacidosis, or DKA, and we were told he needed to be treated at a bigger hospital after the doctor explained he likely would not have woken up the next morning had we not taken him to the hospital that night. My son's diagnosis made me feel scared for his future. I didn't know how I was supposed to be his parent while also learning how to manage his type 1 diabetes practically overnight to literally keep him alive. It was very difficult to learn overnight how to help our 5-year-old son after he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. We were constantly monitoring his blood sugar levels and always hoping he wasn't dropping too fast or rising too high. We had to learn by trial and error how much insulin he needed for each food he ate. Some foods affected him so differently, even foods with no carbs would cause a rapid spike. And other foods like pizza wouldn't immediately cause his blood sugar levels to rise. It was a lot of guessing and hoping we didn't make a mistake. It is so challenging to manage blood sugar levels for a young child because they're growing and so active. One day his activity could cause his blood sugar levels to rise, but another day the same activities could cause his levels to drop. Every single day is different based on emotions, activity, and food. There is a constant equation running through our minds about how to keep his blood sugar levels in range. He can't just sit, watch a movie, and eat chips nonchalantly like other kids. He has to count how many chips he thinks he'll want, and we plan his insulin for that exact amount of chips. It's hard as a mom to see him experience the stresses of this disease. The best advice given to me when our son was diagnosed was it doesn't get easier, you get stronger. As a family, you gain the strength to get through each day because it's all for our son, who is very loved by our entire Wild Thorn Bailey's gang. You get stronger together. It's also okay to take time to accept that the child you had, the one who could eat whatever they wanted and run off and play without you having to worry, is now a different kid with a different childhood ahead of them. My son is a warrior and has taught me so much about the strength that I never knew I could have. Be patient with yourself, your spouse, and your child. Soon it'll feel more like second nature to be a caregiver for a young person with type 1 diabetes. Screening for type 1 diabetes is so important because we had no family history of type 1 diabetes on either side of our families. In fact, I had no idea what type 1 diabetes screening even was until our son was diagnosed. Now, we'll be screening our whole family. I wish we had known about the power of screening ahead of time to prepare and help reduce the risk of having to go through diabetic ketoacidosis, or DKA, and hospitalization. Screening can help you know what to watch for and gives you time to research and prepare. Please talk to your doctor for more information about screening and type 1 diabetes and learn more at theonepledge.com. I'm asking you to take action today.